Good evening, everyone.
Welcome back, folks. Today is Sunday, October 9th, 2022. We are your hosts, Chris
and Samantha,
back with another episode of MMTV. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Tonight we'll be starting off with another original song and video by yours truly. Then Emma follows with the People of Monument.
Giving myself was easy, giving came so slow. Reconciling differences only helped me grow. I had the past to play in. No, I choose the same road. Garden of roses or a crown of thorns. The choice was so easy, somehow I was torn. But in the end, a new beginning overcame.
Hi, Ellen. I'm so excited for the interview about band.
Yeah.
I play the guitar. Cute.
I'm Mr. Keplinger.
Hello.
We just met today, but you think that what you do is pretty cool. So we're gonna interview you. What is the program? Like you just learn music? You come in here, you just
We
be
come
a
in
band
here,
kid?
we, there's it's a small band this year, but they're going to play really well. and it's just going to keep getting bigger.
What do you want your kids to get out of the class when you teach?
Well, all the time that I've been teaching, I want them to understand that just that music can be something they can do for the rest of their lives. After high school into college, they can continue to do it all the way until they're much, much older.
How has band kind of influenced your life?
Well, when I was in middle school, I decided that I wanted to be a band teacher. I know it's really young and really early on to decide to do that. This is my 30th year teaching band.
Yeah, wow.
I stuck with it, yeah. It's something that I'd love to do my whole life.
What inspires you as a teacher?
The biggest thing is when kids get it. In other words, I teach something when they finally understand that, oh, that's what it sounds like. Anybody who was in band before, but come and join us. We're having a good time.
Yeah? Yeah, cool.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Hyatt, for being my teleprompter. Thank you for the awesome background music. You too, Orson.
The school store has officially reopened with plenty of snacks and beverages to enjoy. It will be available periods 1 through 4 and at the end of the school day as well. We are so happy to have it back. Next up, we head over to Gage with his segment, Recipe Reviews. Then right after, Ember and Remy take us over to Fake It Till You Bake It.
Welcome back to Fake It Till You Bake It
with Ember and Remy.
and this week we baked monkey bread.
Anything that has to do with like you actually did that.
We faked it.
And we baked it.
Come back next week for more.
Homecoming is right around the corner, the theme being the Monument Gala. Pretty creative if you ask me. The dance will take place Saturday, October 15th at 7 p.m. Tickets are now for sale during lunches and are $10 a piece. All proceeds will go towards the senior class. It's going to be insane. Don't miss out. Now, we dive back into the world of missing people with Lexi, then Gabe takes it away with his segment on historical subjects.
Hello, my name is Lexi, and this is Missing People, the segment where each week I report on a different person who's disappeared. This week we have Diego Noé Sales Aguilar, a black-haired, brown-eyed Latino male who at the time of his disappearance was 16 years old. Diego is approximately 5 feet 3 inches tall and weighs around 125 to 135 pounds. The last time he was seen, he was wearing blue jeans, a black and gray shirt, and a black jacket. Diego had been living in Wakefield, Massachusetts at the time of his disappearance, on February 7th of 2022. He's originally from Guatemala and has also been living in New York. He was reported missing by his family after he had not been seen for 2 weeks. His family then called the police worried about Diego and wondering where he was. Since then, no one has seen or heard from him. Some of his family thinks that he may have run off to Idaho. If you have any information regarding Diego's case, please contact the Wakefield Police or anyone involved in his case. Thank you for your time.
There will be no school tomorrow, Monday the 10th, in observance of Indigenous Peoples Day. Now we head over to Apple with this week's speed drawing.
Parent-teacher conferences are approaching and will take place Tuesday, October 11th. Check your email and Parent Square for additional information that continues to be released. Now Leo takes it away with his segment, Music Review. Then shortly after, we hear some cool facts about our local apple orchards.
Hello, welcome to It's Music. I'm your host Leo. Today we're talking about the 2022 Big Thief album, Dragon New Warm Mountain, I Believe in You. Big Thief is sort of not a duo project, but sort of a band made up of singer-songwriter-guitarist Adrian Lenker, singer-songwriter-guitarist Buck Meek, drummer James Kruvchanya, and bassist Max Oliarchik. I think that's how their names are pronounced. I don't really know. Adrian Lenker, one of the absolute best songwriters and lyricists working right now. All of her solo projects, specifically Hours Were the Birds and Songs, are both like incredible. Have such great songs, such clever lyricism, just all around, just great showcases of her talent. Go and listen to those, specifically the song Lighthouse and the song Gone and the song Anything. All of those, just so great. I know a lot less about Buck Meek. I know that he's kind of like an NPR country, Neil Young wannabe kind of fellow. That's mean. I like Buck Meek. But Adrian Lenker is definitely the heavy lifter of the group. She's kind of the star of the show here. Big Thief has always been the kind of like, it's really built in like the indie rock tradition, but it has its roots in more like folk music and folk rock and that kind of thing. Like it sounds much more like a Dylan record than like a Modest Mouse album, you know. So new album is the first Big Thief in 2 years, and so they've been sitting on all this material. They recorded this album in like 4 different studios, and this is a double album with about 20 songs of very different vibes. And so usually there would be a mess. Things wouldn't really fit together. It would be really bloated. But this album works amazingly as a double album because every song has its own thing. Every song is worth listening to in its own right. Every song is important to the greater whole. They're all at least a minimum very good. There is one song that I don't like. It's called Sparrow. It reminds me a lot of the song Round and Round It Won't Be Long on the first Neil Young and Crazy Horse album, which is not a compliment at all. But the highs are so great that it doesn't even really matter. Simulation Swarm, which I talked about last time. The song, the closer, Blue Lightning, the opening, Change. This song, The Only Place, that sounds a lot like Carrie and Lowell, that kind of thing. A few others, just all of these songs are so great. I could list off like the whole album basically. Yeah, Big Thief, one of the best albums of the year. In terms of singer-songwriter, folk rock, campfire, with some experimental influence, that kind of thing. If you're looking for that kind of an album, Big Thief is definitely the place to go this year. But it is still second to Answer From Up There by Black Country New Road. 9 out of 10.
Monument Vaccine Clinic is returning and will be at W.E.B. Du Bois Middle School this Thursday, October 13th, before 3 and 6 p.m. Sign-ups are available through the September 30th MMRHS newsletter, but walk-ins are available as supplies permit. This year, the flu shot and the coronavirus booster shot will be available. This is a great local opportunity to get all your vaccines up to date. Now Hyatt takes over with his old segment, The Short Skit. Then Emmett shares with us his segment on video games.
Picture this. A white, barren void. Nothing to do. Alone, with nothing but corn and fields. Well, then you'll love Ohio. Ohio is exactly what you want and more. It's like this, but worse. Here's a list of 10 interesting facts about Ohio. The only thing that people eat in Ohio is corn. The main export in Ohio is corn. The currency in Ohio is corn. Ohio has never been the subject of a lawsuit. Ohio once ate a bear. Ohio is actually named after Mr. Ohio, full name John L. Ohio. They called it that because he was the only person who lived there. In Ohio, it's illegal to eat a chicken nugget in a bath. There's a total of 5 Dunkin' Donuts in the entirety of Cincinnati. Toledo is the only town to ever have a bear infestation. I lived in Ohio for 7 years and I still don't know what to do there. There is no housing in Ohio, you just sleep in the fields. There's a river in Ohio called the Miami River. No one knows why it's called that. I once buried a body in Ohio. The main religion that people worship in Ohio is the corn god. Olivia, what do you think of Ohio? I love Ohio, it's amazing. Teal, what do you think of Ohio? Blah blah. I love Ohio. Ohio's really cool. Corn. 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 Corn.
We're at like 2 minutes 20.
Yes, it's perfect. No one sleeps in Ohio. They just plant. What does that even mean?
Throughout the school year, various mental health surveys, screenings, and questionnaires will take place in an effort to support the current mental health crisis. If uninterested, there is an opt-out form available which can be found in the MMRHS newsletter. And last but not least, this week on Destination of the Week, Natalie hauls us out to California, and when we arrive back in Massachusetts, Emma will give us the weekly weather forecast as well as the MMRHS lunch menu.
Thanks, Emma, for ending off the night. Sadly, this brings us to the end of this week's edition. Thank you for joining us this evening. We will be back next week, same time, same channel. This has been your host, Samantha.
And Chris.
Have a good night, everyone.